No.
Oh, you played Shirley Valentine before.
Yes,
Where
I
would that have
played
been?
it at the Thousand Islands Playhouse in 2018, so 5 years ago, which feels like a lifetime ago because it was
Doesn't it?
pre-pandemic. So it feels like a million years ago, actually.
Sure,
Not just
I
1,000, but a
understand
million.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, so I'm coming to this with a clean slate.
Yay!
Willie Russell wrote it. But I understand it really says about what a woman of 42 goes through when not deserting her husband, but just stepping out.
Redefining herself and finding herself again after being married for a long time. And, you know, like most long-term relationships, having those moments of, before you come back again. And her kids, she's raised her kids and they've left the home. And so just redefining herself. But Willie Russell, yeah, his incredible insight into a middle-aged woman's story is extraordinary. But what I found out about Willie Russell is that for a time he was a hairdresser.
Oh.
And I imagine that he heard a lot of Shirley's in his time. Like, he heard these stories. We all know, like, getting our hair cut is such an intimate experience. And I know for myself, like, when I found my beloved Ryan, who's just left the business. Ryan, I don't want to talk about that. But but the stories that I could share with him, because it just is an experience that lends itself to that. And so I'm sure when Mr. Russell was cutting hair, that he had all of these amazing, remarkable women sharing their stories with him.
Important insight.
Yeah.
If you find the right hairdresser, it's almost like a confessional.
Absolutely.
It's like, I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, you're blessed if you find the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you got all that insight from.
That's what I imagine.
I
That's what I
think
like
so.
to think. I would like
It
to
makes
think
logical
that that's
sense.
true.
It does.
It really
yes.
does.
Yeah.
Karen, is this your first time directing Shirley Valentine?
It is my first time directing Shirley Valentine.
Okay.
It's been so fantastic. I really I can't believe how much I identify with Shirley at this age, and just all of the things that happen when you have a family, when you're a wife, and then you come out the other end, and you have that moment of, okay, is this it? where now? Because like you spend so much of your time giving care to and being all the things that are expected of you. And then finally, when you get through to a certain point, you sort of have to reevaluate and forge your own path. Yeah.
Well, it's so all-consuming, isn't it, when you're raising children?
It's very
No
all-consuming.
time for nothing else. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, as do I.
It's true. All your needs get put in a queue, and then your mom, wife, sometimes they're at the bottom. And I look at Shirley, and it's like a moment for her to kind of go, okay, what is it that actually makes me happy? Where am I now? And
Who am I now?
who am I now? Exactly.
If I'm not a mother, if I'm not just a wife.
Now, people who aren't familiar with Shirley Valentine, how would you encapsulate it for them?
I'd say that it's a story that, well, it centers on a woman that is on a path of discovery to embrace herself. It takes shape in the form of this 42-year-old woman named Shirley Valentine in Liverpool. And she is invited by her best mate to take a leap of faith and go on a vacation and take a trip of a lifetime. I don't think she's had very much of a chance to do that for herself. And it's a moment where she actually takes the time to do something for herself and makes a lot of discoveries on that trip about herself and where she wants to go.
Now, I won't ask you to say, what does she find out? Because if you haven't seen it, you don't want to be surprised.
No, of course.
Can you characterize it? Is it life-affirming, life-altering, is it fair to ask if you can characterize it in one of those adjectives?
I would say yes to both.
Oh,
It's
life-affirming,
life-affirming and
life-altering.
life-altering. And I would also add that it's not just about discovery of self, although I think that is definitely the most important aspect of it. But it makes me cry even when I talk and think about it. But it's also just discovery of humanity and what we all go through and what we all, the compromises we make sometimes, and the fights that we have. And by fights, I just mean inner struggles. And yeah, it's not just about Shirley Valentine. She is certainly the central means to speak these big conversations, but yeah, it's bigger than that as well, I think.